Hello everybody, my name is Aaron Chudasman. Today I will be giving you a brief code explanation of a motion detection system I created myself. So let's get started. By the way, it is done as given as seen right here. It has been developed in Python 2.7. You will find out. The reason is that because the CV2 library, the OpenCV for Python library, is only available currently, as far as I know, for Python 2.7, not Python 3.4 or whatever or onwards, as far as I know. So first we import. First of all, we start by importing the CV2 library, which can be found in the extract of the OpenCV extractor. I don't remember. Yeah, extractor maybe. then we import the datetime library as datetime. Well, this is required for making sure that we only compare images each second. So, because since the comparison is being done in real time, the computer might overload, and the folders in which the images and uh, and the videos are being saved might overload and all that. So we will only be doing it each second, not anything more or less than that. Moving on. Then we import the EasyGUI module, which you can install by saying pip install EasyGUI. That's how I installed it, anyways. Then we install the EasyGUI module for the GUI, and that's what makes it so short, as in category 52 short, 52 lines short. Then we import the SYS library to make sorry, uh, to exit the program whenever required. Okay, so those are all the imports. Then moving on, we define a function called difference image. It calculates the difference between images. It takes in T0, T1 and T2. This sorry, these are, you need to pass in arrays into here for this to work. We will actually be passing an image array, grayscale image arrays to be precise. Well, grayscale picture array, grayscale pixel arrays to be precise. Then moving on, we store the absolute difference, which means absolute difference between T2 and T1. That means it takes the 0th element of T2 and the 0th element of T1, calculates the absolute difference between those, and stores it in another array with the 0th element. Then it does that for element 1 of T2 and T1, and stores that in the array in the index 2, and so on and so forth. This also works for 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional and 4-dimensional arrays. As the documentation says, anyways. Then, so first of all, yeah, here you are. So we calculate the absolute difference between. Oh wait, so, okay. By the way, for the CV2 library to work, you need to import NumPy, but you need a NumPy installed. CV2 library, OpenCV, this CV2 library will import NumPy for you, but so that you don't have to import it explicitly. So right here. So we calculate the absolute difference between T2 and T1 and store that in D1. Then calculate the absolute difference between T1 and T0 and store that in D2. Then we do the bitwise AND function between D1 and D2. This is just like the absolute difference function, except instead of doing the absolute difference between same indexes in our array, we actually do the bitwise AND function of these two arrays instead. Okay, so then we define a function. So that concludes it, since it's returned that it's over. Then we display the hello screen. Then we define a function called display hello screen title, which takes in a title variable. So first we start by using the EasyGUI module to display a message box, which as the message. welcome to, this just means a new line character, and then this gives in the title you passed in, and then two new line characters, and then the developer's name and the credits and all that, and then we say the actual title of the program, and then this the actual title of the window, and this just means the the button you click for the OK button. Then we say D for directory is equal to EasyGUI.dir open box. This means directory open box. This just shows a box in which you have to open the directory as you see in many types of other programs as you have seen before. So first of all, it takes in the message parameter and then the title. Not actually the title. The title is browse for folder, but this just means the whatever title, the second parameter, then it puts down a space, then minus sign, and then this, and then this is the OK button. As here I call it OK. It's not required, but I still kept it there. And then it checks if D is not equal. If D is equal to null, then we exit the program. And if it exits, it won't be able to come here because, well, the program terminated. So that doesn't do anything. So this doesn't happen. So if D is none, meaning you didn't actually go somewhere and just press the cancel button, then it's going to exit from the program. That's where SYS comes in handy. Then, and if it didn't exit, we just return the value D. Then we create a constant, well, not a real constant, but it's in all caps lock, so it's usually considered to be a constant. So we define title, all caps lock, very required if it's a constant, to motion detection system. Then we set the directory to display hello screen title. Because we don't want to do it every time down there. So it displays the hello screen with all of this. Then we set the threshold. This is the threshold for triggering motion. We currently 2 hours were spent on finding the correct threshold, and that too for indoor and outdoor lighting, not different for indoors and outdoors. In my current webcam, some other webcams might have different threshold, but for now this is the one that works in my webcam, and hopefully they'll work in other webcams too. And then we define a camera to cv2.video capture. This just gets the webcam with the element array 0. You do know that array elements start at value number 0 because because of some complex C thing. I could explain it to you, but right now it's pretty complex, and I'm pretty sure you aren't here to study what's here about. You're here to see this program explanation. So moving on. So we get the first video webcam you have. You might have multiple webcams, I don't know, but it gets the first webcam, so that can't be used. And that's the reason why I can't show you demo of this program along with the code explanation, because two programs can't access the same device at the same time. That's sort of a limitation of that's sort of how it works now. Then we create a named window with the name WinName. We define the window name to title plus spacebar webcam footage. Since Python doesn't put spaces every time you type down a plus, it doesn't automatically attach space. So you need to explicitly say spacebar. Then we create a new named window with the name WinName. Then we set the password. This is completely optional. It's just there to test myself if I'm really able to do this and all that. Then after defining the password, we read the 3 images first. T minus is equal to cv2.cvt color. Let's go in here first. So this is a little bit complex. So first we need to go in the inside. So first of all, we read the camera cam.read This just gets the current values in it, and then it gets the second return value. By the way, Python functions can return multiple values. Surprising to me, unlike many other languages, you can only return one value per function. Unfortunately, well, fortunately, I don't know what to say, but yeah, that's how Python works. So we get the second element, the second return value. The first return value is ret, I think. I don't remember. It really doesn't matter to me. This second is what we really want. Frame. This is the actual frame, the actual capture, the frame of what the webcam is recording. So that's what we will get. So moving out, we do cv2.cvt color. This means cv2.convert color. This converts a particular image from this to whatever color constant you given. So you feed in the string or integer. It's an integer. We feed in cv2.color to RGB, a color RGB to gray. This means it will convert this frame from RGB values to grayscale values, because yeah, that's how most my program currently works. Then we store that in t minus this current value, and t is equal to the current value, but now t minus is the previous value, because yeah, now it's moved to the next frame. And then t plus is equal to the current value, so t is the previous one and t minus is the previous of the previous one. So these three, we basically created a shift register. If you ever know what that is, we created a shift register which just shifts the value up and attaches a new value. Okay, so moving on. So first you define time check, a value to date time dot now gets the current value dot strf time, string format time with the format percentage s string. This actually gets the seconds, and this just attaches an s at the end of that, the seconds. This is just so we can take one picture. We only store an image one picture per second, or else the size will be overwhelming and your folder will be very cluttered, and the processor might as well overload. So if it gets to here and gets back here, it might still be saving this, and then you are calling it to save another one. So to prevent that from happening, we are only doing it 1 second, or else while it's writing one, it will start writing another one which might have the same name or something. So to prevent that from happening, we are only scanning it once per second. So first we show the current footage of the webcam, what the webcam is currently showing, directly onto the window I gave you. So this just gets the window name, gets the window with the window name, and then it gets camera.read1. This seems familiar. Oh yeah, here it is. That's where we used it. So yeah, we used it there. So yeah, we get the frame of it, and then we show that onto the window with the name. We need to keep this very unique, and it's pretty unique to me. So first of all, if we check if the difference between t minus, t and t plus, and then it checks for the number of non-zero values in there, and if it exceeds the threshold, that means there is a large body moving, and time check is not equal to datetime now.strtime. So this piece of code checks that at least 1 second has passed, and this just means that there is some movement. If there is any movement, then we create a variable called dImage, and then oh look, a familiar function. And I really should have created a function for this. Maybe I'll do it again and do it again. Create an update of this, but for now this is all there is. I really should have created a function. We use this a whole lot often, as you can very clearly see. So but it's not required since it's very short. So we get the dImage is equal to camera.read, and then we get the second value, as always, the frame. Then we say cv2.IamWrite. I am show means image show, and I am write means write it to an actual physical file. Then we do datetime.now.string format time, and we add to it the directory we defined here, whatever you opened up there, and then we attach a slash, very important, and you can see right there type, and then we do this. This just formats is string years, months, days, hours with an H, and minutes with an M, and seconds with an S, and F for frame, frame. And then we put a .jpeg extension, .jpg extension, or JPEG as many people like to call it. And then we store the image to that particular file. Then every second we say time check, because you need to keep updating it every time it happens. So time check is equal to datetime.now.string format time. So this just means this just means that time check is now refreshed again. So time check is equal to datetime.now.string format time check. So yeah, that's it. Then we read the next images. So like a shift register, as I told you. So t minus, the actual value of t minus is gone. T minus is equal to t is equal to t plus, and t plus is equal to the current value. Like over there. So then we get the key, and then we say wait key. Waits for a particular pressed key. And then if the key value is equal to 27, this just means that if you have pressed the escape key, and then we destroy the window, meaning destroy the window, it doesn't show anymore. Then it says EasyGUI.boolbox, meaning a boolean box. Are you sure that you want to exit as the message, and then the title with the actual title. And then we check, and then if you did press yes, then you say password box, enter password to exit, meaning it shows a password box like an enter box, except it now has a password in it. But this is just to test myself. I could have commented this out, it wasn't required, I just kept it because it's a very nice functionality, I like it. So then we set the password box to enter their password to exit, and then we say the message and then the title of the window. And password box basically means that instead of actually showing what you've written in the box, the text box, then instead of showing that, you actually show asterisks. It shows that, but in reality the letters and all of that are still being recorded. So if it is equal to password, then we break from it, and the program just stops. That's it. And if it's not equal to password, then we continue. I couldn't have kept this empty. I could have cut that out as well, but I still like to check. So if the password is not, so if there isn't, and if the password is incorrect, then we go back up here and start continuing. So yeah, that concludes it. Hope you liked it, and